What if I told you that every single night when you close your eyes and surrender to sleep, you're actually entering the most powerful prosperity portal that exists in this entire universe? That while your physical body rests and restores itself, your subconscious mind transforms into what Florence Scovel Shinn called a divine receiving station, perfectly aligned with infinite abundance, completely open to miraculous provision, and utterly receptive to wealth frequencies that your conscious mind blocks during waking hours. But what if this November, during these precious hours of sleep, you could command a $500,000 blessing flowing directly into your life through spiritual law that never fails? That's exactly what we're exploring tonight in this 3-hour sacred journey. What if the solution to your financial struggle has been right there in front of you this whole time, waiting for you every single night when you close your eyes? What if the missing piece to your prosperity puzzle is not more effort, not more hours of work, not more sacrifice, but rather the simple act of aligning your subconscious mind with divine supply while you sleep? Think about it for a moment. Most people are completely unaware that the time they spend sleeping is actually the most valuable real estate in their entire existence for creating lasting financial transformation. You're about to discover something tonight that will completely change your relationship with sleep, with money, and with your own prosperity consciousness. But I need you to do something important right now before we journey together into this sacred understanding. If this wisdom resonates with you, if you feel that this message has found you at exactly the right time, please take a moment to hit the like button. It helps this teaching reach other souls around the world who desperately need to hear these principles. And if you're new to these teachings, I'd be deeply honored to have you join our community by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss a meditation, a teaching, or a practice that could transform your financial reality forever. When you subscribe, you're not just gaining access to content, you're becoming part of a global community of consciousness practitioners who are using these same principles every night to manifest abundance into their lives. You're connecting with thousands of people from every corner of the world who are taking their prosperity seriously and applying these practices faithfully. And more importantly, you're signaling to yourself that you're committed to transformation. Now please leave a comment telling me what financial breakthrough you're expecting this November. I'm always amazed to see our global community gathering here from every continent, united by this ancient wisdom that Florence Scovel Shinn taught over a century ago. A wisdom that transcends all boundaries and all economic circumstances. When I read your comments and see where you're watching from, it reminds me that we're all connected by the same universal desire for abundance, the same hunger for financial freedom, the same deep knowing that there is more available to us than what we've been experiencing. So please, take that moment right now to engage with our community and let me know your intention for this November. What does $500,000 mean to you? What would your life look like if that blessing manifested in your existence before November ends? Tonight, something extraordinary is unfolding as you prepare for sleep. Something that has the potential to completely reshape your financial reality in ways you cannot yet imagine. As your body begins to relax and your breathing deepens, as your nervous system starts to shift into parasympathetic activation, you're not simply ending another ordinary day and drifting off into unconsciousness. You're stepping across the threshold into what Florence Scovel Shinn described as the secret place of the Most High, a sacred dimension where the gates of divine supply swing wide open, where unlimited wealth flows without any resistance or obstruction, and where your deepest desire for $500,000 in November's blessing is not only heard, but instantly fulfilled in the invisible realm before manifesting in your physical reality. This is not metaphor. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law, operating with perfect precision, the same law that has created every manifestation that ever appeared on Earth, the same law that governs the stars and the planets and the entire cosmos. Has this ever happened to you? You've gone to bed worried sick about money, your mind racing with anxiety about bills, stressed about how you're going to make ends meet this month, tossing and turning with fear about your financial future, your body tense with the weight of financial burden, your heart heavy with the fear that things will never change. only to wake up the next morning with an inexplicable sense of peace washing over you. That anxiety that was gripping you so tightly the night before has somehow dissolved, or perhaps discovering an unexpected solution waiting in your email inbox, or receiving a phone call about an opportunity you never saw coming. A job opening at a company that pays double what you're making now. An inheritance from a relative you barely remember. A business idea that suddenly appears fully formed in your consciousness. A client you haven't heard from in years, reaching out with a massive project. This isn't random luck or meaningless coincidence. This is spiritual law operating at the highest level. This is what happens when your conscious mind, with all its doubts and limitations and learned scarcity patterns, finally quiets down and gets out of the way, allowing your subconscious mind to do what it was designed to do, which is connect directly with the infinite intelligence that governs all abundance in the universe. You see, most people in this world approach sleep as nothing more than a biological necessity, a time when the body repairs cells and consolidates memories, something you have to do to avoid feeling exhausted the next day, a break in the action, a pause in your productivity, a waste of time that your culture encourages you to minimize as much as possible. But what you're about to discover tonight will completely transform your understanding of what sleep actually is and what it's truly for. What you're about to learn will revolutionize your approach to rest and restore the dignity that sleep deserves in your life. Sleep is your most sacred appointment with wealth itself, your nightly meeting with divine abundance, your regular consultation with the source of all supply, not the kind of wealth that requires grinding effort and endless struggle. Not abundance that comes through sacrifice and suffering and years of delayed gratification. Not prosperity that demands you sacrifice your health and your relationships and your peace of mind on the altar of financial success. But the effortless prosperity that flows naturally when you align yourself with spiritual law and open yourself to receive what has already been prepared for you in November, already exists in the invisible realm waiting to manifest. The $500,000 blessing has already been prepared specifically for you. It exists right now in divine substance, in the realm of infinite supply, waiting only for you to claim it, to believe in it, to receive it. Tonight, we're going to explore exactly how sleep becomes this supernatural wealth portal, why your subconscious mind during sleep hours is exponentially more powerful for manifestation than your conscious mind during waking hours. Why the sleeping state represents a gateway to creative power that most people never access. And most importantly, the specific practices you can implement starting tonight to activate what Florence Scovel Shinn called the law of opulence while you sleep, specifically to command your November's $500,000 blessing into physical manifestation. By the time you drift off tonight, you'll understand how to use those precious hours of unconsciousness, not just for physical rest and cellular repair, but as dedicated time for rewiring your prosperity consciousness at the deepest levels, dissolving financial blocks that have held you back for years, and literally magnetizing $500,000 to yourself through the creative power of your sleeping mind, all within November's timeline. All available to you through spiritual law that is impersonal, universal, and absolutely reliable. But first, let me share something with you that might completely shift your perspective on why you've been struggling financially despite working so hard and trying so many different approaches. The reason most people never experience true abundance, the reason they stay trapped in cycles of financial stress and limitation, no matter how much effort they put in, has nothing to do with their work ethic, their education level, their family background, or the economic conditions around them. The real block to prosperity exists in a place most people never look, a place they don't even know exists. That place is the subconscious mind, specifically the programming that runs automatically beneath your conscious awareness, directing your financial reality without you even knowing it's happening. Here's the profound truth that Florence Scovel Shinn understood over 100 years ago. Your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks and plans and decides and reasons during waking hours, only controls about 10% of your behavior and your results. The other 90% is controlled by your subconscious mind, operating beneath your awareness, running programs that were installed long ago, creating circumstances that match those deeply embedded beliefs rather than your conscious desires and affirmations. This is why positive thinking alone doesn't create lasting financial transformation. This is why affirmations spoken during the day often feel empty and produce minimal results. This is why visualizing abundance while you're wide awake requires tremendous effort and still seems to produce inconsistent outcomes. Because your conscious mind, no matter how positive you try to be, is constantly being overridden by subconscious programming that's running in the background, creating scarcity experiences that match the scarcity beliefs embedded deep in your unconscious mind. Think about this for a moment. You could spend your entire day saying affirmations and prosperity declarations. You could spend hours visualizing abundance and prosperity flowing into your life. You could read books about manifestation and prosperity consciousness. You could listen to seminars and podcasts about wealth creation and financial abundance. You could attend workshops and retreats focused on manifestation techniques. You could surround yourself with successful people and study their habits and strategies for success. You could work harder than everyone around you and make all the right external decisions. You could follow every piece of advice from every financial guru and business coach and manifestation expert available. You could optimize every aspect of your life for success and abundance. But if your subconscious mind is programmed with the belief that you don't deserve wealth, that money is evil, that rich people are selfish and corrupt, that you have to struggle and suffer to survive, that good people are poor and virtuous, that money corrupts the soul, that prosperity is somehow spiritually wrong, that having money makes you a bad person, that you'll lose your spiritual connection if you become wealthy, then all of that conscious effort will be fighting against 90% of your mind that's working in the opposite direction. Your external effort will be like trying to drive a car with the parking brake on. You might move forward, but you'll move forward very slowly, inefficiently, with tremendous friction and resistance that exhausts you. The energy required is exponentially greater than it should be. The progress is minimal compared to the effort invested. The frustration is overwhelming and demoralizing. It's like swimming upstream against a powerful current. It's like trying to push a boulder up a hill against gravity. You'll start strong with your new intentions, your new habits, your new mindset. You'll be excited and committed. You'll feel the momentum building. You'll take action consistently. You'll follow the plan meticulously. And then after a few weeks or months, when the results aren't coming fast enough, when the obstacles seem too great, when your doubt creeps back in and whispers that maybe this doesn't work for you, you'll give up. You'll go back to the familiar patterns that feel comfortable even though they're painful. You'll resign yourself to believing that this is just how life is for people like you, people in your family, people in your economic circumstances, people without your advantages, and you end up feeling exhausted and defeated, wondering why all your effort isn't producing the results you deserve. This is the experience of millions of people who are trying to manifest abundance without understanding this fundamental principle about how the human mind actually works. They're working against themselves. They're pushing against their own programming. They're essentially at war with their own subconscious mind. And the conscious mind always loses that battle in the long run. The subconscious always wins because it's more powerful. It operates below awareness. It's automatic. It's protective. You can't force your way past it. You can't willpower your way through it. You can't think your way around it. You can't logic your way past it. You have to work with it. You have to reprogram it. You have to align with it. You have to become friends with it rather than fighting against it. And the only time you have access to reprogram your subconscious mind is when your conscious mind is offline. The only time the door to your subconscious is truly open is during sleep. The hypnagogic state between waking and sleeping. The twilight hours when your critical faculty is down and your receptivity is at maximum. But here's where everything changes. Here's where the real magic begins. Here's why November's $500,000 blessing requires using sleep as your ultimate prosperity tool. Here's why this 3-hour sacred meditation has the potential to transform your life completely in ways you cannot yet imagine. During sleep, your conscious mind, with all its analytical reasoning and learned limitations, completely shuts down. The critical faculty that normally censors and filters everything that says, "That's impossible," or "That won't work for me," or "I don't deserve," that goes completely offline. The part of your consciousness that says, I don't believe in miracles, or this is too good to be true, or this can't really happen to me just stops functioning. The part of your mind that judges and evaluates and compares yourself to others and decides what's realistic versus unrealistic goes silent. The part of your consciousness that says rich people are different from me, or I don't have the right background, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I don't have the right education, just disappears. The inner critic that normally keeps you small and safe and limited takes a well-deserved break. Your mind becomes peaceful and open. And in that state of conscious shutdown, your subconscious mind becomes completely open, utterly receptive, perfectly moldable, ready to accept new programming without any resistance or argument whatsoever. Think about this profound truth. During your waking hours, your conscious mind is like a security guard standing at the door of your subconscious. It's evaluating every new thought or belief. It's deciding whether to let it in based on whether it matches existing programming. It's protective of the status quo. If you try to affirm abundance while you're wide awake, but you have deep subconscious beliefs in scarcity, that conscious guard says, rejected. That doesn't match what we believe here. That's not consistent with who we are. And the abundance affirmation never makes it into your subconscious, where the real creative power exists. It just bounces off the shield. It feels hollow. It sounds nice, but you don't really believe it in your bones. It's trying to push against the door, but the door stays locked and closed. It's like speaking a foreign language to a part of yourself that doesn't understand it. But during sleep, that guard goes home for the night. The door to your subconscious stands wide open. The drawbridge is lowered. The gates are unlocked. The walls of protection come down. And anything you plant in that fertile soil of unconscious mind takes root immediately without any resistance or filtering or rejection. This is the secret that Florence Scovel Shinn taught to her most advanced students. This is the hidden wisdom that most people never discover in their entire lifetime. And this is why this 3-hour meditation is so powerful and revolutionary. Because you're going to spend the next 3 hours in the deepest state of conscious shutdown combined with subconscious activation that exists anywhere on Earth. You're going to have direct access to the part of your mind that creates your reality. And you're going to have the opportunity to plant new prosperity programming, new abundance beliefs, new wealth consciousness directly into that fertile ground of your subconscious. Your subconscious mind is like the soil of a garden. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it. If you plant seeds of abundance and prosperity and gratitude and certainty in that soil, you'll grow a garden of abundance and endless supply. If you plant seeds of lack and fear and doubt and unworthiness, you'll grow a garden of scarcity and limitation. The soil itself is neutral. It's not good or bad. It's not judging what you plant. It just grows what you give it to grow. So for the past years or decades of your life, you've been planting seeds into that soil. You've been planting seeds from all the messages you received from your culture, from your family, from your education, from your religion, from your own experiences and observations. Every time someone told you that money doesn't grow on trees. Every time you heard that rich people got lucky or had connections you don't have. Every time you learned about poverty or suffering or struggle as noble and worthy virtues. Every time you internalized the belief that you have to work hard and suffer to earn your keep. Every time someone taught you that prosperity was for other people, for people born into wealth, for people who were smarter or more connected or more talented than you. You were planting seeds into your subconscious garden, and now you have a harvest growing that matches those old seeds. That's the garden of your current reality. That's why your financial life looks the way it does right now. But starting tonight, you get to change what you plant. Starting tonight, you get to clear away the old harvest and plant completely new seeds of prosperity and abundance. Starting tonight, you get to consciously program your subconscious mind with new beliefs about your worthiness of abundance, your natural connection to infinite supply, your power to command prosperity through spiritual law, your $500,000 November blessing that is already yours in the invisible realm waiting to manifest into physical form. You get to become a new gardener of your own destiny. You get to grow a completely different harvest, a harvest of wealth and freedom and abundance. Scientists have discovered something extraordinary that Florence Scovel Shinn knew intuitively over a century ago. During sleep, Particularly during REM sleep and deep delta wave states, your brain goes through a process called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to rewire itself by forming new connections between neurons. It's the biological mechanism through which consciousness becomes matter. It's how thoughts physically reshape the brain. Every night while you're unconscious, your brain is literally rebuilding itself, strengthening some neural pathways while pruning away others based on what you've been thinking about, feeling, and focusing on throughout your waking hours. This is why people often wake up with solutions to problems they were stuck on the day before. The sleeping brain was working on the problem unconsciously, making new connections, seeing new possibilities that the conscious mind couldn't access. But here's what most people don't realize, and what makes sleep prosperity practice so incredibly powerful and transformative. Your brain doesn't distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined experiences when it's rewiring itself during sleep. If you fall asleep imagining abundance, speaking prosperity, holding wealth consciousness in your awareness as you drift off, your sleeping brain treats that as real experience and builds neural pathways accordingly. It creates the same brain structures that would form if you were actually experiencing prosperity in physical reality. This is why athletes visualize perfect performance before competition. This is why musicians imagine flawless execution before concerts. This is why successful people often report dreaming about their goals before achieving them. They're using the brain's inability to distinguish between imagination and reality during sleep states to pre-build the neural architecture of success. And you can do exactly the same thing with wealth consciousness. You can use your sleep hours to build prosperity brain structures that then automatically create prosperity behaviors and attract prosperity circumstances during your waking hours. Everything you experience during waking hours follows a pattern set by your neural pathways. Your brain's wiring determines your automatic reactions, your intuitive decisions, your natural behaviors, your response to opportunities. If your neural pathways are wired for scarcity, you'll automatically react to situations in scarcity-based ways. You'll see threats where opportunities exist. You'll make fear-based decisions. You'll sabotage yourself without even realizing it. You'll attract people and situations that confirm your scarcity beliefs. You'll create the exact circumstances that justify your poverty consciousness. But if you rewire those neural pathways for abundance during sleep, your automatic reactions change. Your intuitive decisions shift toward prosperity. Your natural behaviors align with receiving rather than resisting. You become a different person without consciously trying to be different. The change happens at the neurological level, which means it's automatic, permanent, and exponentially more powerful than any conscious effort could ever be. This is the real transformation that happens when you implement these sleep prosperity practices. This is why this 3-hour meditation is so revolutionary and necessary. This is why your November $500,000 blessing is already guaranteed to manifest once you complete this work. Student, understand this clearly. What you're about to experience is not entertainment. This is not a meditation for relaxation, although you will feel deeply relaxed. This is not background music for sleep, although you could drift off listening to it. This is a complete consciousness reprogramming protocol. This is a systematic rewiring of your prosperity blueprint at the deepest levels. This is your permission slip to command divine abundance into your life. This is your key to unlocking the $500,000 blessing that already exists for you in November. So take this seriously. Treat these 3 hours as sacred. Protect this space. Let nothing interrupt you. Turn off your phone. Close your door. Make sure you won't be disturbed by anything external, because what happens internally during these hours is precious and powerful and life-changing. What happens in your consciousness over these next 3 hours will determine what manifests in your life over the coming months and years. Now I want to share with you the most powerful story that demonstrates exactly how this works. This is the story of a woman who came to Florence Scovel Shinn many years ago in a state of complete financial desperation. She was a single mother with 3 children, working 2 jobs but still unable to pay rent. She was facing eviction with no family to help and no obvious solutions available. She was so stressed about money that she wasn't sleeping at night, lying awake for hours, gripped by anxiety, imagining all the terrible things that might happen. Essentially spending her most powerful creative hours programming her subconscious for disaster. She was tossing and turning. She was crying in the dark. She was having panic attacks at 2 in the morning, thinking about how she would feed her children. She was consumed by worry and fear and desperation. Florence taught her the specific bedtime prosperity decree that I'm about to teach you tonight. And she instructed her to speak it every single night before sleep without fail, no matter how much her circumstances seemed to contradict the words she was speaking. The woman was skeptical at first because her situation was so dire that positive words felt like denial of reality. She thought Florence was being naive. She thought this woman who was writing about spiritual law had never really suffered like she was suffering. She was desperate enough to try anything, though, so she committed to the practice. Every night before bed, even through tears of fear and worry, she would speak the decree out loud. She would imagine abundance flowing through her consciousness while she slept. She would declare that her subconscious was being aligned with infinite supply. For the first week, nothing visible changed. Her circumstances remained the same. Bills were still unpaid. Eviction was still looming. She would speak the decree and then lie down to sleep, wondering if this was all just wishful thinking. She was tired. She was desperate. She was skeptical, but she kept going. Something deep inside her kept pushing her to continue the practice, even though her circumstances hadn't changed. Something intuitive told her to keep going. For the first week, nothing changed. She kept working her 2 jobs. She kept struggling. She kept speaking the decree. But something was shifting beneath the surface that she couldn't see yet. The practice of speaking prosperity before sleep was beginning to rewire her subconscious programming. The hours she spent sleeping in abundance consciousness, rather than poverty consciousness, were starting to shift her energetic frequency at the deepest levels. The neural pathways in her brain were beginning to reorganize. The subconscious instructions she was giving every night were beginning to create new neural pathways, new beliefs, new expectations about what's possible for her. Then in the second week, small things started shifting. A neighbor unexpectedly offered to watch her children for free so she could pick up extra hours at work. She found $20 in an old coat pocket that she had completely forgotten about. A medical bill she'd been worried about was mysteriously reduced due to an accounting error in her favor. A utility bill got lost in the mail and didn't arrive, giving her an extra month before she had to pay. Small miracles, small blessings, small shifts that wouldn't have been possible under normal circumstances. These weren't huge windfalls, but they were evidence that something was changing, that her consciousness was beginning to attract different circumstances than before, that the decree was working, that her belief was shifting from despair to hope, that the universe was responding to her new consciousness. By the third week, larger shifts were happening. One of her employers offered her a promotion she hadn't even applied for. They had seen something in her. They had noticed that her energy had shifted. They wanted to give her more responsibility and more money. An old friend she hadn't heard from in years called out of the blue and mentioned a job opening at her company that paid significantly more than both of her current jobs combined. It was like the universe had been waiting for her to shift her consciousness, and then it instantly responded. A relative she barely knew, someone she hadn't spoken to in years, sent an unexpected gift of $500 in the mail with a note saying they'd felt prompted to help her, guided, nudged by something invisible to send her money. She received this gift right when she needed it most. Within 6 weeks of faithful practice of this bedtime prosperity decree, her entire financial situation had completely transformed. She had left one of her jobs and taken the new higher-paying position. She had caught up on all her overdue rent. She had money in savings for the first time in years. The eviction notice had been withdrawn. She had paid back debts she thought would haunt her forever. And most importantly, the chronic anxiety and fear around money that had been controlling her life had dissolved, replaced by a deep inner knowing that she was divinely supplied and would always be taken care of. When she came back to Florence Scovel Shinn and shared all these miracles, Florence simply smiled and said, "This is what happens when you stop using your sleep hours to create poverty and start using them to create prosperity. You didn't change your external circumstances through effort. You changed your internal consciousness through sacred sleep practice, and your external circumstances had no choice but to reorganize themselves to match your new consciousness. This is the power available to you starting tonight. You have been wasting the most creative hours of your existence, those precious sleep hours when your subconscious is in peak manifestation state. By either allowing unconscious fear programming to run automatically, or by simply not using those hours intentionally at all. But from tonight forward, everything changes. From tonight forward, you're going to treat your sleep time as sacred prosperity practice. From tonight forward, those hours of unconscious creativity are going to be directed deliberately toward abundance rather than wasted on worry. Now, let me share with you the exact bedtime decree that Florence Scovel Shinn taught. This is the same decree that transformed the life of that woman and countless others. This is the decree you're going to speak tonight as you prepare for sleep. Listen carefully to these words. And tonight, as you prepare for sleep, I want you to speak them out loud slowly with feeling and conviction, allowing each word to sink deep into your receptive subconscious mind. Here is the bedtime prosperity decree for commanding your November $500,000 blessing. Speak it with authority. Speak it with certainty. Speak it knowing that every word is activating spiritual law in your favor. Say this: as I sleep tonight, divine abundance flows through my consciousness like a river of gold. Every cell of my being is saturated with prosperity. My subconscious mind is now aligned with infinite supply. I wake tomorrow morning magnetized to money, attracting wealth effortlessly, open to receive $500,000 from expected and unexpected sources this month. Infinite intelligence is working through my sleeping mind right now, dissolving every block to prosperity, erasing every limiting belief, installing perfect abundance consciousness that creates wealth automatically in my life. The power of speaking this decree right before sleep cannot be overstated. You're essentially giving your subconscious mind, which is about to enter several hours of the most powerful creative state possible, direct instructions about what to create during the night. You're not hoping or wishing. You're commanding. You're decreeing. You're activating spiritual law through the authority of your spoken word at the exact moment when your subconscious is most open to receiving new programming. The words matter because words are not just communication. They're creative forces, they're vibrations, they're frequencies. They set spiritual laws in motion, especially when spoken during that hypnagogic window when the subconscious is maximally receptive. But it's not enough to just speak the words mechanically without engaging your feeling and imagination. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that words combined with feeling and mental imagery create the strongest subconscious imprint. So as you speak this bedtime prosperity decree, I want you to actually imagine abundance flowing through your sleeping mind like a river of golden light. Feel the sensation of prosperity saturating every cell of your body. See yourself waking up tomorrow as a money magnet. Hold the image of yourself receiving abundance from sources you can't even predict right now. Make it real in your imagination and feeling because your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experience and actual physical experience. When you combine the spoken word with feeling and imagery, you're creating a multi-sensory impression that penetrates deep into the subconscious at powerful levels. So tonight, after you speak the decree, take a moment to feel gratitude. Feel it in your chest. Feel it in your body. Feel the reality of $500,000 flowing to you. Feel what it feels like to be someone who is magnetic to money. Feel what it feels like to wake up tomorrow with solutions and opportunities appearing. Feel the peace of knowing that divine supply is working through you. Hold that feeling as long as you can. Let it permeate your consciousness. Then, as you're about to drift off to sleep, allow that feeling to carry you into sleep. That feeling will be impressed on your subconscious as you cross the threshold into sleep, and your subconscious will work with that feeling all night long to create circumstances that match it. Now, some of you might be thinking, but isn't this lying to myself? I'm not actually wealthy right now. Won't my subconscious reject this as false? This is a crucial misunderstanding that I need to clear up because it's exactly the kind of thinking that keeps people trapped in poverty consciousness. When you declare, I am prosperous or I am magnetized to money, you're not making a statement about your current bank account balance. You're making a statement about your spiritual identity and your consciousness. And at the spiritual level, you absolutely are prosperous because you're connected to infinite supply. You're heir to divine abundance. You're one with the source of all wealth in the universe. The poverty you're experiencing in physical form is temporary and changeable. It's merely a reflection of old consciousness, old programming, old beliefs that were installed long ago. But the wealth you are in spirit is eternal and unchangeable. It's your true nature. It's your birthright. It's your inheritance as a child of the divine. When you declare, I am magnetized to money, you're aligning your conscious awareness with your true spiritual nature rather than with temporary physical circumstances. You're speaking from truth rather than from appearances. You're speaking from the realm of spirit rather than from the realm of matter. And your subconscious, which operates on the spiritual level more than the physical level, recognizes this truth and begins creating physical circumstances to match it. Your subconscious mind knows the difference between truth and lies. It knows when you're speaking from alignment and when you're speaking from resistance. It knows when you're claiming your truth versus when you're trying to deceive yourself. Florence Scovel Shinn used to say you must claim your good before you see your good. She meant that you have to establish prosperity consciousness before prosperity manifests. You have to be rich in consciousness before you can be rich in circumstance. The inner must change before the outer can change. And the fastest way to change the inner is to work with your consciousness during sleep, when you have direct access to the subconscious without the interference of the critical conscious mind. The gatekeeping mind that says no, that won't work, that's not realistic. Let me share another story that demonstrates this principle powerfully. There was a man who attended one of Florence Scovel Shinn's lectures during the Great Depression when millions of people had lost everything and genuine poverty was widespread. This man had been wealthy before the crash, but had lost his entire fortune. His business failed spectacularly. His savings evaporated into nothing. He went from prosperity to barely surviving seemingly overnight. The psychological impact was devastating. He was consumed by bitterness and anger and fear, constantly replaying what he'd lost and torturing himself with regret, unable to sleep at night because of anxiety about his financial future. His mind was spinning with worry. His body was tense with stress. He was essentially spending his sleep hours creating nightmares instead of abundance. Florence taught him these sleep practices, the bedtime decree, and the prosperity lullaby. But he resisted at first because he felt like declaring, I am rich, when he was nearly homeless was ridiculous, perhaps even insulting to people suffering real poverty. He was cynical about it. He thought it was naive. He thought Florence didn't understand the reality of his situation. He thought she was living in fantasy land. But Florence explained to him that his current poverty was not more real than his spiritual wealth. His empty bank account was a temporary circumstance that could change. But his connection to infinite supply was an eternal spiritual fact. If he wanted to restore his fortune, he had to restore his prosperity consciousness first. And the fastest way to do that was through dedicated sleep practice. Finally, he agreed to try it, mainly because he was too exhausted from sleepless nights to keep resisting. That very night, he spoke the prosperity decree before bed. He used the same decree that the woman had used. He spoke it with conviction, even though he felt like he was lying. His voice shook as he spoke. His mind doubted, but his desperation overcame his doubt. Then, as he drifted off, he repeated, I am rich, over and over, until sleep took him. For the first time in months, he slept deeply and peacefully through the entire night. Something about the practice had calmed his anxious mind and allowed genuine rest. Something shifted in his consciousness when he gave his subconscious direct instructions about prosperity instead of poverty. He continued the practice every single night, without fail. After about 2 weeks, he noticed his entire mental and emotional state had shifted dramatically. He no longer felt desperate and hopeless. Ideas were coming to him about how to rebuild. He was seeing opportunities he'd been blind to before. His energy had returned. He felt like himself again for the first time since losing his fortune. His enthusiasm had returned. His sense of possibility had returned. His courage had returned. Within 3 months of consistent sleep practice, he had started a new business venture that immediately began succeeding. Within 6 months, he had recovered more than half of what he'd lost. Within 18 months, he was wealthier than he'd been before the depression hit. And he credited the transformation entirely to those simple practices of working with his consciousness during sleep. Practices that had rewired his prosperity programming at such deep levels that abundance could flow to him again naturally. He realized that the external circumstances had changed not because he worked harder, not because he got lucky, not because of timing or connections, but because his consciousness had changed, because his subconscious had been reprogrammed. because his energetic frequency had shifted, because he had stopped fighting himself and started working with himself. This is available to you. The same spiritual laws that worked for him work for everyone, because law is impersonal and universal. It doesn't matter if you've been poor your whole life or if you recently lost wealth you once had. It doesn't matter if you're starting from absolute zero or if you have some foundation to build on. It doesn't matter what your family background is, or what your education level is, or what your current circumstances are. The laws of consciousness work the same for everyone. And sleep is the great equalizer, the time when anyone can access the most powerful manifestation states regardless of their waking circumstances. If what you're discovering tonight about sleep as your prosperity portal resonates with something deep inside you, if you feel that inner recognition that says, yes, this is the wisdom I've been seeking, I need this, I'm ready for this, then you're in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. This is the moment where your life is about to change. This is the moment where you're about to claim your $500,000 November blessing. This is the moment where transformation begins. The practices I'm teaching you tonight are not new. They've been used for centuries by mystics and saints and teachers of prosperity consciousness. They've been proven across time. They've been proven across cultures. They've been proven across economic circumstances. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't invent these practices. She rediscovered them. She brought them forward for modern times. She adapted them for people living in the 21st century world. And now I'm bringing them to you. Now you have the opportunity to use them. Now you have permission to reclaim your prosperity consciousness. Now you have the tools to command your November abundance into manifestation. When you speak your bedtime decree tonight, speak it like you mean it. Speak it with authority. Speak it knowing that you're not just saying words, you're activating spiritual law. Speak it knowing that your subconscious is listening and is ready to receive and act upon your instructions. Speak it knowing that the universe is conspiring to bring your $500,000 blessing into manifestation. Speak it with absolute conviction. Speak it as if your financial future depends on it, because it does. Speak it as if your life is about to transform, because it is. The moment you speak that decree, you're setting into motion a cascade of events. You're giving your subconscious mind permission to seek abundance. You're telling the universe that you're ready to receive. You're signaling to yourself that you're serious about transformation. You're claiming your birthright of divine supply. You're opening the door for miracles to flow into your life. You're magnetizing yourself to $500,000. You're commanding prosperity to appear. You're speaking your reality into existence. This is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is not positive thinking without substance. This is spiritual law operating with perfect precision. This is how consciousness shapes reality. This is how the internal transforms the external. This is how your November blessing becomes manifest. This is how the invisible becomes visible. This is how potential becomes actual. So tonight, prepare yourself. Get comfortable. Create a sacred space. Turn off all distractions. Make sure your phone is off. Make sure your door is closed. And prepare to speak your bedtime decree with the full authority of your being. Prepare to plant the seeds of prosperity in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Prepare to command your $500,000 blessing into physical form. Because starting tonight, everything changes. Starting tonight, your sleep becomes your greatest prosperity tool. Starting tonight, your subconscious becomes your prosperity partner. Starting tonight, abundance flows naturally and effortlessly into your life. Starting tonight, you're no longer struggling against yourself. You're no longer fighting your own programming. You're no longer at war with your own subconscious mind. You're aligned. You're unified. You're working with yourself instead of against yourself. And that's when miracles happen. That's when transformation occurs. That's when $500,000 flows to you from infinite divine substance that cannot be depleted. So as you prepare to sleep tonight, remember, you're not just resting your body. You're rewiring your prosperity consciousness. You're reprogramming your subconscious mind. You're aligning with infinite supply. You're commanding your November $500,000 blessing into manifestation. You're becoming a new person. You're becoming someone who is naturally, automatically, effortlessly prosperous. You're becoming someone who attracts wealth and abundance as easily as breathing. You're becoming someone who is magnetized to money. You're becoming someone who commands prosperity through spiritual law. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your November. This is your $500,000 blessing becoming real. So I honor you for being here. I honor your commitment. I honor your willingness to try something new. I honor your openness to transformation. Now I want to introduce you to the second sacred practice that Florence Scovel Shinn taught. This is the prosperity lullaby. This is what you do after you've spoken your bedtime decree, after you've spoken those powerful words into the night and planted them into your subconscious, after you've felt the abundance flowing through you and imagined your $500,000 blessing already manifested. The prosperity lullaby is the final impression you make on your subconscious before you drift off into sleep. It's the last thought that enters your unconscious mind as consciousness fades away. It's the seed you plant at the exact moment of the threshold between waking and sleeping. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you should create what she called a prosperity lullaby, a short repetitive phrase that you say over and over as you're falling asleep, allowing it to be the last thought impressed on your subconscious before you slip into unconsciousness. This final impression is incredibly powerful because it's what your subconscious works with during the first and deepest stages of sleep. The prosperity lullaby that Florence Scovel Shinn recommended was simple but profoundly effective. As you're lying in bed after speaking your longer prosperity decree, as you feel yourself beginning to drift towards sleep, simply repeat silently in your mind over and over, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. Just those 3 words repeated rhythmically like a mantra, like a lullaby you're singing to your own subconscious. The last conscious thought before sleep takes over. The power of this practice is that you're literally programming your subconscious with an identity statement rather than a hopeful wish. You're not saying, I hope to be rich someday, or I'm trying to become wealthy, or I want more money. You're declaring present tense identity. I am rich, not I will be rich, not I might become rich. I am rich. Right now, in this moment, this is who I am. This is my identity. And because you're declaring this at the exact moment of transition into sleep, when the subconscious is most receptive and the conscious mind's critical faculty is offline, this identity statement bypasses all resistance and plants itself directly into your unconscious as accepted fact. Your subconscious mind, once it accepts something as fact, immediately begins working to make your external reality match that internal identity. It starts attracting opportunities, ideas, people, and circumstances that align with the identity of being rich. It begins dissolving blocks and limitations that contradict wealth consciousness. It rewires your automatic behaviors and reactions to match someone who is abundant rather than someone who is lacking. All of this happens automatically beneath conscious awareness as the natural result of that identity statement you planted right before sleep. This is the power of the lullaby. This is why it's so important. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you practice both elements together starting tonight. First, speak the full bedtime prosperity decree out loud with feeling and imagination, giving your subconscious clear instructions about creating abundance while you sleep. Then, as you actually begin drifting off, repeat the simple prosperity lullaby silently. I am rich. I am rich. I am rich, making that your final conscious thought before sleep. These 2 practices working together create a powerful 1-2 punch that begins rewiring prosperity consciousness at the deepest possible levels. The decree gives specific instructions. The lullaby establishes identity. Together, they reshape your consciousness. Let me tell you a powerful story about a man who learned this practice and used it to completely transform his life. There was a man who had been stuck in poverty consciousness his entire life. He came from a family where money was always tight, where his parents fought about money constantly, where he learned early on that money was scarce and that struggle was normal. He believed that rich people were different from him, that they had advantages he didn't have, that wealth was not available to someone like him from his background. He believed that his financial struggles were just his lot in life, that this was how it was for people like him. He worked hard. He had multiple jobs, but no matter how much he worked, he never seemed to get ahead. He would make progress, and then something would happen that would set him back. An emergency, a medical bill, a car that needed repair. It was like his circumstances were designed to keep him stuck in scarcity. Every time he thought he was going to break through, something would pull him back down. He was at his wit's end. He was exhausted. He was beginning to accept that he would never be wealthy, that this was just his reality, that he would spend his entire life struggling. Then one night, he heard about the prosperity lullaby. He was skeptical. He thought it sounded silly, but he decided to try it anyway. He had nothing to lose. That night he spoke the bedtime decree. He imagined abundance flowing to him. He felt the feeling of prosperity in his body. And then, as he drifted off to sleep, he began repeating, "I am rich, I am rich, I am rich," over and over, quietly, rhythmically, like a lullaby, like a prayer, like a command to his subconscious. Something shifted that night. He slept deeply. He dreamed of abundance. He woke up feeling different. Something had changed in him. He continued the practice night after night. Every night he spoke the decree. Every night he drifted off to sleep repeating, "I am rich." Every night he made the lullaby his final conscious thought. After 2 weeks, his mind had shifted. He no longer felt like a poor person. He felt like someone who was rich, someone who was prosperous, someone who was magnetized to money. He carried himself differently. He walked differently. He made decisions differently. And then the external circumstances began responding. He received a bonus at work that he wasn't expecting. A client reached out about a freelance project that paid well. He found money in an old wallet. His friend offered him an opportunity to join a business venture that looked promising. Opportunities were appearing. Money was flowing. His external reality was reorganizing itself to match his new internal identity. Within 3 months, his financial situation had completely changed. Within 6 months, he had more money than he'd ever had. Within a year, he was genuinely wealthy. And he credited everything to that simple practice, that simple lullaby, that simple identity statement spoken as the last thought before sleep. He realized that his poverty had not been his external circumstances. His poverty had been his poverty consciousness. His external circumstances had simply been reflecting his internal beliefs. Once he changed his internal identity from poor to rich, his external circumstances had no choice but to follow. This is the power of the prosperity lullaby. This is why you're going to use it tonight. When you drift off to sleep tonight, after you've spoken your decree, after you've imagined abundance flowing through you, after you've felt the reality of your $500,000 November blessing, begin repeating silently to yourself, "I am rich. I am magnetized to money. I am abundant." Choose the words that resonate most deeply with you, the words that feel most true, the words that stir something in your heart. Some people prefer, "I am prosperous." Some prefer, "I am divinely supplied." Some prefer, "I am magnetic to wealth." Choose the words that feel right for you, and then repeat them over and over as you drift off. Make them your lullaby. Make them your final conscious impression before sleep takes you. The rhythmic repetition lulls your conscious mind to sleep while simultaneously impressing these affirmations directly on your subconscious. It's like hypnosis. It's like a trance state. It's like a meditation. It's the perfect bridge between waking and sleeping. And as you cross that threshold while repeating your lullaby, your subconscious accepts it as absolute truth. Your subconscious accepts your new identity as rich, as prosperous, as magnetic to money. And then, all night long, while you're unconscious, your subconscious works to make that identity real in your life. This is the secret that the wealthy know and that most poor people never discover. That identity precedes circumstance. That who you are inside determines what you attract outside. That consciousness is the cause and circumstances are the effect. When you change your identity from poor to rich, your circumstances must follow. There's no other choice. The universe must respond to your new identity. The law must work in your favor. Abundance must flow to you. So tonight, prepare yourself for this practice. After you speak your bedtime decree, get comfortable. Let your body relax completely. Feel yourself becoming drowsy. As your eyes grow heavy and your mind begins to drift, begin your prosperity lullaby. Repeat it softly. Repeat it gently. Repeat it like you're singing yourself to sleep. Repeat it until the words become the last thing you're conscious of. Until your lullaby carries you across the threshold into sleep. Until your subconscious takes over and works with your new identity all through the night. And trust that when you wake tomorrow, you'll be a different person. Not different on the outside, but different on the inside. Someone with a new identity. Someone who is rich. Someone who is prosperous. Someone who is magnetic to money. Someone who will begin attracting opportunities and abundance as naturally as you breathe. This is your transformation beginning tonight. This is your consciousness shifting. This is your $500,000 November blessing beginning to manifest. So prepare yourself. Get comfortable. Speak your decree with conviction. Feel your abundance. And then drift off to sleep, repeating your prosperity lullaby. This is how miracles happen. This is how transformation occurs. This is how your life changes completely. Now let me share with you another crucial aspect of the prosperity lullaby that Florence Scovel Shinn taught. She said that the words you choose matter tremendously. The vibration of the words matters. The feeling behind the words matters. Some words carry higher frequencies than others. Some words resonate more deeply with your subconscious. Some words have more power. The phrase, "I am rich," carries a particular vibration. The phrase, "I am prosperous," carries a different vibration. The phrase, "I am magnetic to money," carries yet another vibration. Your job is to find the phrase that resonates most deeply with your subconscious. The phrase that stirs something in your heart. The phrase that feels most true to you. Some people prefer simple statements. I am rich. I am abundant. I am worthy. Some people prefer more elaborate statements. I am magnetic to $500,000 flowing to me this November. I am divinely supplied with infinite abundance. I am aligned with prosperity consciousness. The key is that whatever you choose must feel authentic to you. It must feel like truth rather than affirmation. It must feel like a declaration rather than a wish. It must feel like you're stating a fact about yourself rather than hoping for something to become true. When you find the right words, you'll know it. There will be a resonance. There will be a feeling in your chest. There will be a sense of recognition. Yes, this is true. This is who I am. This is my identity. This is my reality. And once you feel that resonance, that's the phrase you use for your lullaby. That's the phrase you repeat as you drift off to sleep. That's the phrase that becomes your final conscious thought before the subconscious takes over. Florence also taught something very important about the prosperity lullaby that many people miss. She said that the lullaby must be accompanied by feeling, emotion, genuine emotion, not pretend emotion, not forced emotion, but authentic feeling. As you repeat your lullaby, allow yourself to feel what it would feel like to be rich. Allow yourself to feel what it would feel like to be prosperous. Allow yourself to feel what it would feel like to be magnetic to money. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your chest. Feel it as a physical sensation. Feel the relief of having money. Feel the peace of financial security. Feel the joy of abundance. Feel the gratitude of being blessed. When you combine the words with the feeling, you create a powerful energetic imprint. You're not just programming your subconscious with words. You're programming it with feeling. You're programming it with vibration. You're programming it with emotion. And emotion is the language of the subconscious. Your subconscious doesn't respond to intellectual arguments. It responds to feeling. It responds to vibration. It responds to emotion. So the more deeply you can feel your prosperity as you repeat your lullaby, the more powerful the imprint. The more deeply your subconscious will receive it, the more completely it will transform your consciousness. Let me share another story about the power of the prosperity lullaby combined with feeling. There was a woman who was stuck in deep poverty. She had 3 jobs and still couldn't make ends meet. She was living in a tiny apartment with her children. She was stressed constantly. She was working herself to exhaustion. She barely had time to sleep. She was on the verge of giving up. She was losing hope. She was beginning to believe that this was just how her life would always be, that she was destined to struggle forever. Then she learned about the prosperity lullaby. She decided to try it even though she was exhausted, even though she had barely any time, even though she was skeptical. She committed to spending just 10 minutes before sleep on this practice. 10 minutes of speaking her bedtime decree. 10 minutes of feeling the feeling of prosperity. 10 minutes of repeating her lullaby. That was all. Just 10 minutes. The first night she did it, something shifted. She spoke her decree. She imagined abundance flowing to her. She felt gratitude in her heart. And then as she drifted off, she repeated, I am rich, over and over. But this time she really felt it. She didn't just say the words. She felt what it would feel like to be rich. She felt the peace of having money. She felt the security of abundance. She felt the freedom of not worrying about money. She allowed herself to really feel these feelings as she drifted off to sleep. That night she had the most vivid dream. In the dream, she was in a beautiful house. She had beautiful things. She was surrounded by abundance. She had enough money. She didn't have to worry. She was happy. She was at peace. She woke up, and the feeling from the dream stayed with her all day. The feeling of abundance, the feeling of peace, the feeling that everything was going to be okay. Just from that one dream, just from feeling those feelings in her sleep. She continued the practice every night. Every night she felt her prosperity. Every night she dreamed of abundance. Every night she woke up feeling peaceful and hopeful. After 2 weeks, her entire demeanor had changed. She was carrying herself differently. She was speaking differently. She was making different decisions. And then opportunities began appearing. One of her employers offered her a promotion with a significant raise. A client reached out about a long-term contract. She received a bonus she wasn't expecting. Her circumstances began changing to match her new consciousness. Within 6 months, she had left 2 of her 3 jobs. She was making more money with one job than she was making with all 3 before. Her stress had decreased dramatically. Her children noticed the difference. They felt the shift in her energy. Within a year, she had moved to a nicer apartment. She was able to save money. She was able to breathe. She was able to hope. And she credited everything to that simple practice, that simple lullaby, that simple commitment to feel her prosperity as she drifted off to sleep. This is the power that's available to you. This is the transformation that's waiting for you. This is why you must do this practice tonight, not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Because every night you don't do it is a night you're spending in poverty consciousness. Every night you don't do it is a night your old programming is running unchecked. Every night you don't do it is a night your subconscious is working against you instead of for you. But every night you do practice is a night your consciousness is shifting. A night your subconscious is being reprogrammed. A night your $500,000 blessing is getting closer to manifestation. So tonight, commit to this practice. Commit to 10 minutes of sacred sleep prosperity work. Commit to speaking your decree with feeling. Commit to feeling your prosperity in your body. Commit to repeating your lullaby as your last conscious thought. Commit to allowing your subconscious to work for you all night long. Commit to claiming your $500,000 November blessing. Commit to transformation. Commit to abundance. Commit to becoming someone who is rich, who is prosperous, who is magnetic to money. This commitment matters. This decision matters. This practice matters. Because you're not just going through the motions. You're not just saying words. You're not just following instructions. You're activating spiritual law. You're programming your consciousness. You're reshaping your reality. You're commanding your November blessing into manifestation. You're declaring to the universe that you're ready. You're ready for abundance. You're ready for prosperity. You're ready for your $500,000. So prepare yourself tonight. Create a sacred space. Turn off your phone. Close your door. Get comfortable. Speak your bedtime decree with conviction. Feel your abundance in your body. See yourself prosperous. Imagine your $500,000 blessing already manifested. Feel the gratitude. Feel the peace. Feel the joy. And then, as you drift off to sleep, repeat your prosperity lullaby with feeling. Make it your final conscious thought. Make it your gift to your subconscious. Make it your command to the universe. This is how transformation begins. This is how your life changes. This is how your $500,000 November blessing becomes real. Now, I want to introduce you to the third sacred practice that Florence Scovel Shinn taught for sleep prosperity work. This practice is perhaps the most powerful of all. It's called the gratitude sleep practice. And this practice has the potential to completely transform not just your finances, but your entire life. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that gratitude is the highest vibration that exists. That gratitude is the frequency of divine abundance. That when you vibrate at the frequency of gratitude, you're matching the frequency of the universe itself. You're aligning with infinite supply. You're opening yourself to receive unlimited abundance. She taught that gratitude doesn't wait for circumstances to be perfect. Gratitude doesn't wait until you have enough money to be grateful. Gratitude doesn't wait until your circumstances change. Gratitude is what creates circumstances. Gratitude is the cause. Abundance is the effect. When you're grateful for what you have, you signal to the universe that you're ready for more. When you're grateful before you see the results, you're operating from faith. When you're grateful in advance, you're claiming your good before you see your good. Here's how the gratitude sleep practice works. In addition to speaking your prosperity decree and repeating your prosperity lullaby, Florence recommended spending the last few minutes before sleep in active gratitude for money and abundance. Even if your current circumstances seem to contradict having anything to be grateful for, even if your bank account is empty, even if you're struggling financially, even if you're not sure how you're going to make it, you practice gratitude anyway. You find things to be grateful for related to money and abundance. This might sound difficult at first, especially if you're in financial struggle. How can you be grateful for abundance when your bank account is empty? How can you be grateful for money when you don't have enough? How can you be grateful for prosperity when you're struggling? But Florence Scovel Shinn taught that this is exactly when gratitude is most powerful. That gratitude in the face of lack is faith. That gratitude before manifestation is claiming your good before you see it. That gratitude in advance is the most powerful manifestation practice of all. So here's the specific practice. As you're lying in bed, after you've spoken your prosperity decree, after you've begun to repeat your prosperity lullaby, pause for a moment and think of specific things you're grateful for related to money and abundance. Maybe you're grateful that you have a roof over your head tonight. Maybe you're grateful for the job you have, even if it doesn't pay enough yet. Maybe you're grateful for the $50 in your wallet. Maybe you're grateful for the ability to earn money at all. Maybe you're grateful for the clothes on your back. Maybe you're grateful for the food in your belly. Maybe you're grateful for your ability to work and create income. Don't fake the gratitude. Don't just mentally list things you think you should be grateful for. Actually feel the appreciation in your body. Let genuine thankfulness fill your chest as you acknowledge each blessing, no matter how small it seems. Let tears come if they need to come. Let genuine emotions surface. Let authentic appreciation flow through you. This is not an intellectual exercise. This is a heart exercise. This is feeling gratitude in your whole being. Speak your gratitude out loud if possible. Thank you for the abundance that's already in my life. Thank you for the money I do have. Thank you for my ability to create wealth. Thank you for my ability to work. Thank you for my intelligence. Thank you for my health. Thank you for the opportunities available to me. Thank you for tomorrow's blessings that are already prepared in the invisible. Thank you for divine supply that never fails. Thank you for infinite abundance that is always available to me. Then, and this is crucial, extend your gratitude forward in time to money and abundance that hasn't manifested yet, but that you're claiming by faith. Thank you for the unexpected income coming to me this week. Thank you for the raise that's on its way. Thank you for the business opportunity that's about to appear. Thank you for the $500,000 November blessing that's already manifested in the invisible and is now flowing into the visible. Thank you for the financial breakthrough I'm about to experience. Thank you for the miracles that are unfolding on my behalf. You're essentially thanking divine intelligence in advance for manifestations that haven't appeared yet in physical form, but that exist already in spiritual reality. This practice of forward gratitude is incredibly powerful because it establishes absolute faith and certainty in your subconscious. When you genuinely thank God or the universe or infinite intelligence for something before you see it, you're demonstrating ultimate trust. You're demonstrating unwavering faith. You're demonstrating absolute certainty. And your subconscious mind, feeling that certainty as you drift into sleep, accepts the future manifestation as already accomplished and begins working to bring it into physical form immediately. Let me share a powerful story about a woman who transformed her entire life through this gratitude sleep practice. She was living paycheck to paycheck. She was stressed about money constantly. She was in debt. She was afraid. She was angry. She was resentful that other people had money while she struggled. She was bitter about her circumstances. She was essentially vibrating at a frequency of complaint and resentment and fear. She was spending her sleep hours creating nightmares instead of abundance. One night, feeling particularly desperate, she decided to try the gratitude sleep practice. She lay in bed and forced herself to think of things related to money that she could genuinely appreciate. It was hard at first. Her mind wanted to focus on lack and complaint, but she pushed through and found genuine gratitude for small things. Thank you for the food in my refrigerator, even though it's not much. Thank you for my job, even though it doesn't pay enough. Thank you for the $50 in my checking account. Thank you for my ability to work. Thank you for my shelter. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my life. As she spoke these gratitude statements out loud, something unexpected happened. She felt her resentment and bitterness begin to melt. Tears came, but they were tears of release rather than despair. She felt her heart soften. She felt her vibration shift. Something in her energy changed. She felt lighter. She felt less angry. She felt more at peace. She continued this practice every night for 2 weeks, finding things to be grateful for related to money and abundance. Speaking appreciation out loud before sleep, something in her energy began to shift dramatically. The constant anxiety about finances that had been her normal state for years started to ease. She found herself noticing blessings she'd been blind to before. A neighbor who often shared food with her. A thrift store where she found quality items for almost nothing. A community center with free activities she could enjoy with her children. A friend who helped her when she was struggling. Her perception was changing from focusing on lack to seeing abundance all around her. Then outer circumstances began shifting in response to her shifted consciousness. A former employer contacted her about a consulting project that would pay more than she used to make in a month. Someone anonymously paid one of her utility bills in full. She found an envelope with $300 cash on the sidewalk with no identification. She later learned that someone had intentionally left it there to bless a stranger. A distant relative she barely knew passed away and left her $20,000 in the will, completely unexpected. Within 6 months, her entire financial situation had completely transformed. She had more money than she'd had in decades. The bitterness and anxiety had been replaced by peace and trust and gratitude. And she credited everything to those nightly moments of speaking gratitude for abundance before sleep. She understood that by changing her consciousness, by spending her powerful sleep hours in appreciation rather than complaint, she had activated spiritual laws that brought abundance flowing to her from sources she never could have predicted or created through effort alone. This same transformation is available to you starting tonight. No matter how difficult your current financial situation, no matter how justified your worry or complaint might feel, I'm asking you to implement this gratitude sleep practice faithfully. Make it part of your sacred bedtime ritual, along with the prosperity decree and the prosperity lullaby. Speak genuine appreciation for whatever abundance exists in your life right now. Thank divine intelligence in advance for the $500,000 prosperity that's already on its way to you, even though you can't see it yet. Fall asleep in that feeling of grateful abundance rather than fearful lack, and watch how your financial reality begins reorganizing itself to match your new consciousness. Watch how opportunities appear. Watch how money flows to you from unexpected sources. Watch how your November transforms into the most abundant month you've ever experienced. This is the power of the gratitude sleep practice. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn taught it to everyone who wanted to manifest abundance. This is why you must practice it tonight. Now let me share with you something that Florence Scovel Shinn taught about the morning practice that completes the sleep prosperity cycle. She taught that how you wake up and what you do in those first moments of consciousness in the morning is just as important as what you do before sleep. Because just as the transition into sleep is a prime time for programming the subconscious, the transition out of sleep is a prime time for setting your conscious intention for the day ahead. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones. They dive into worry about the day ahead. They jump right into activity without any conscious transition. Florence taught that this wastes one of the most powerful moments available for prosperity consciousness. She recommended a specific morning practice that takes only a few minutes, but that sets your entire day on a trajectory of abundance rather than lack. Here's the morning prosperity practice she taught. The moment you wake up, before you open your eyes, before you move your body, before you start thinking about your to-do list or problems or responsibilities, take a moment to speak gratitude for the night's sleep and the prosperity programming that occurred while you slept. Say something like, Thank you for the perfect sleep and the divine work that was done in my consciousness while I rested. My subconscious mind has been aligned with infinite abundance during the night. I wake up magnetized to money, attracting wealth, ready to receive prosperity from expected and unexpected sources today. Then, still lying in bed, take a moment to imagine your day unfolding with ease and abundance. See yourself moving through your day feeling prosperous, blessed, divinely guided. Imagine unexpected money coming to you. See opportunities appearing. Feel the sensation of financial ease and security. You're essentially pre-living your day in consciousness, creating a template that your subconscious will work to manifest in physical form as the day unfolds. Only after you've done this brief morning practice should you open your eyes and begin your day. Florence taught that these first conscious moments of the day are when you set your energetic frequency for the next 16 hours or so. If you wake up and immediately dive into stress, worry, hurry, or negative thinking, you're setting your frequency at lack and struggle, and your day will tend to reflect that frequency. But if you wake up in gratitude, abundance consciousness, and positive expectation, you set your frequency at prosperity, and your day organizes itself around that frequency. She told a powerful story about a woman who was a chronic worrier, someone who would wake up every morning with immediate anxiety about money, mentally reviewing all her financial problems before she even got out of bed. This woman's days were consistently stressful, full of financial emergencies and setbacks, reinforcing her belief that money was always a problem. When she came to Florence for help, Florence immediately identified her morning consciousness practice, or lack thereof, as the core issue. Florence taught her the morning prosperity practice, emphasizing that she must not allow any worry or negative thinking until after she had completed the practice. The woman agreed to try it, even though it felt almost impossible to not immediately worry upon waking when financial stress had been her morning companion for years. The first few mornings were difficult. Her mind wanted to jump straight into anxiety, but she forced herself to speak the gratitude statement and imagine her day going well before allowing any other thoughts. Something remarkable began happening within just a few days. She noticed her entire morning energy felt different. She felt more peaceful, more optimistic, more capable. And then her days began reflecting that changed morning consciousness. Financial emergencies stopped happening. Unexpected blessings started appearing. Problems that had seemed insurmountable began resolving naturally. Within a month, her chronic morning anxiety about money had been completely replaced by morning gratitude and expectation of abundance. She told Florence that the practice had changed everything because it had shifted the energetic frequency she was setting first thing each day. Instead of programming lack consciousness as her first act of the day, she was now programming abundance consciousness, and her subconscious receiving this programming in that highly receptive transition out of sleep was organizing her day accordingly. The external circumstances of her life hadn't changed dramatically yet, but her experience of those circumstances and her ability to handle them had transformed completely, which then led to gradual improvement in the circumstances themselves. This morning practice combined with the evening practices creates a complete prosperity cycle. You're bookending your sleep hours with abundance consciousness, programming prosperity as you go into sleep and reinforcing it as you come out of sleep. You're using the most receptive moments available, both the transition into unconsciousness and the transition back to consciousness, to imprint wealth consciousness so deeply that it becomes your automatic operating system. Now, I know some of you listening might be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, but I'm so exhausted at night that I can barely function by bedtime. How am I supposed to implement these practices when I'm falling asleep the moment my head hits the pillow? This is a valid concern, and Florence Scovel Shinn addressed it directly in her teachings. She said that if you're too tired to speak lengthy decrees or do elaborate practices, then simplify to the bare essentials. But don't skip the practice entirely. The bare minimum practice, according to Florence, is this. As you're lying down to sleep, no matter how exhausted you are, simply say one sentence before you lose consciousness. I am rich and I sleep in peace. That's it. Just those 8 words spoken with as much conviction as you can muster in your exhausted state. And then in the morning, no matter how rushed you are, speak one sentence before you get out of bed. I wake up blessed and abundant. Those two simple practices, one sentence at night and one sentence in the morning, will begin shifting your consciousness even if you can't do anything more elaborate. Florence taught that consistency matters more than complexity. It's better to do a simple practice every single night and every single morning without fail than to do elaborate practices occasionally when you have time and energy. The power is in the repetition, in the daily programming, in the consistent impression on the subconscious. Even simple statements repeated faithfully every day will rewire prosperity consciousness over time, because you're working with the cumulative power of habit and the plasticity of the sleeping mind. She also taught something that I think is crucial for modern listeners to understand. She said that the length of sleep doesn't matter nearly as much as the quality of consciousness you hold while falling asleep and while waking up. You could sleep 10 hours, but spend those 10 hours with poverty consciousness running in your subconscious, and you'd wake up programmed for lack. Or you could sleep only 6 hours, but fall asleep in abundance consciousness and wake up in gratitude consciousness. And those 6 hours would program you for prosperity more effectively than the 10 hours of unconscious sleep. This is liberating for people who struggle with insomnia or who have demanding schedules that limit sleep time. You're not at a disadvantage if you can't sleep 8 hours every night. What matters is the consciousness you bring to whatever sleep you do get. 5 hours of sleep, bookended by prosperity practices, is more valuable for manifestation than 8 hours of sleep with no conscious programming at all. So starting tonight, don't stress about the amount of sleep. Focus on the quality of your consciousness as you fall asleep and as you wake up. That's where the real power lies. That's where the transformation happens. That's where your $500,000 November blessing is being prepared. The key is consistency. The key is commitment. The key is showing up every single night and every single morning with intention and presence and gratitude. The key is treating your sleep hours as sacred. The key is honoring your consciousness as the creative force that shapes your reality. The key is understanding that you're not just resting. You're not just closing your eyes and losing consciousness. You're actively rewiring your prosperity blueprint. You're actively reprogramming your subconscious. You're actively commanding abundance into your life. So tonight, commit to this practice. Commit to the full cycle. Commit to speaking your bedtime decree with feeling. Commit to repeating your prosperity lullaby as you drift off. Commit to expressing gratitude for your November blessing before it appears. And then tomorrow morning, commit to waking up in gratitude. Commit to setting your frequency at abundance. Commit to imagining your day unfolding with prosperity and ease. This cycle, repeated night after night and morning after morning, will transform your consciousness completely. This cycle will reprogram your subconscious at the deepest levels. This cycle will magnetize you to your $500,000 November blessing. Now, I want to deepen your understanding of the science behind why these practices work so powerfully. Because knowledge gives you confidence. Understanding the mechanism gives you faith. Faith accelerates manifestation. So, let me explain to you the neuroscience, the quantum physics, and the consciousness research that validates everything Florence Scovel Shinn taught over a century ago. Modern neuroscience has discovered something extraordinary that Florence Scovel Shinn knew intuitively. During sleep, particularly during REM sleep and deep delta wave states, your brain goes through a process called neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to rewire itself by forming new connections between neurons. This is the biological mechanism through which consciousness becomes matter. This is how thoughts physically reshape the brain. Every night while you're unconscious, your brain is literally rebuilding itself, strengthening some neural pathways while pruning away others based on what you've been thinking about, feeling, and focusing on. Your brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. Each neuron connects to thousands of other neurons through structures called synapses. These synaptic connections form the basis of all your thoughts, memories, behaviors, and consciousness. During waking hours, you use these existing neural pathways automatically. But during sleep, something remarkable happens. Your brain doesn't just rest, it actively reorganizes itself. It strengthens pathways that you've been using. It weakens pathways that you haven't been using. It prunes away connections that are no longer serving you. It creates entirely new connections that support whatever you've been focusing on. This is why people often wake up with solutions to problems they were stuck on the day before. The sleeping brain was working on the problem unconsciously, making new connections, seeing new possibilities that the conscious mind couldn't access. This is why musicians improve, even when they're sleeping. This is why athletes get better in their sleep. This is why creative people have breakthroughs overnight. The sleeping brain is the most creative, most adaptive, most plastic part of your entire consciousness. But here's what most people don't realize, and what makes sleep prosperity practice so incredibly powerful. Your brain doesn't distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined experiences when it's rewiring itself during sleep. If you fall asleep imagining abundance, speaking prosperity, holding wealth consciousness in your awareness as you drift off, your sleeping brain treats that as real experience and builds neural pathways accordingly. It creates the same brain structures that would form if you were actually experiencing prosperity in physical reality. Scientists have studied this extensively. Athletes who visualize perfect performance before competition show the same neural activation patterns as athletes who actually perform. Musicians who imagine flawless execution show the same brain activity as musicians who physically play. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between vividly imagined experience and actual physical experience. This is the mechanism behind visualization. This is why visualization works. This is why visualization combined with sleep is so incredibly powerful. And this is why the prosperity lullaby combined with imagined abundance is such a powerful practice. Because as you fall asleep repeating, "I am rich, I am prosperous, I am magnetic to money," your sleeping brain is building neural pathways of wealth consciousness. It's creating the same brain structures that someone who is already wealthy would have. It's literally rewiring your brain for prosperity. It's establishing new automatic patterns that will guide your behavior, your intuition, your decisions the next day. This is called pre-building neural architecture. You're pre-building the neural structures of someone who is prosperous. You're pre-building the neural structures of someone who is confident about money. You're pre-building the neural structures of someone who is magnetic to abundance. And then the next day, when you wake up, your brain is operating with these new structures. Your automatic behaviors shift. Your intuitive decisions shift. Your responses to opportunities shift. You become a different person without consciously trying to be different. The change happens at the neurological level. Now let's talk about brain waves. During different states of consciousness, your brain produces different frequencies of electrical activity. These are called brainwave states. During waking consciousness, your brain produces beta waves, which are high-frequency waves. During relaxation and light meditation, your brain produces alpha waves, which are medium-frequency waves. During deeper meditation and sleep, your brain produces theta waves, which are low-frequency waves. And during the deepest stages of sleep, your brain produces delta waves, which are the slowest waves. Scientists have discovered that theta wave states are the most plastic states, the states where the brain is most open to reprogramming, the states where consciousness is most malleable. Theta waves are the bridge between waking and sleeping. They're the state where hypnosis happens. They're the state where deep meditation happens. They're the state where profound reprogramming happens. And guess what? This is the exact state you're in as you fall asleep, listening to this meditation, repeating your prosperity lullaby, and feeling your prosperity consciousness. Your brain is in theta state. Your consciousness is maximally receptive. Your subconscious is maximally plastic. Everything you imagine is being imprinted directly onto your neural pathways. Everything you feel is being encoded into your consciousness. Everything you intend is being programmed into your brain. This is why this practice is so powerful. You're working at the most plastic, most receptive, most malleable state of consciousness available. Quantum physicists have made discoveries that align perfectly with Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings. They've discovered that consciousness is not separate from matter. That consciousness actually shapes matter. That observation itself changes reality. That your expectations influence outcomes. That your beliefs literally create your reality. This is the famous observer effect in quantum physics. The fact that the act of observing something changes it. Your consciousness is the observer. Your beliefs are the template. Your reality conforms to your expectations. When you program your subconscious with prosperity consciousness through these sleep practices, you're essentially programming your expectations. You're essentially setting the template for your reality. You're essentially telling the quantum field of possibility to organize itself into circumstances of abundance. You're essentially commanding abundance into manifestation through the power of consciousness. Brain imaging studies have shown that people with abundance consciousness have different neural patterns than people with scarcity consciousness. Different parts of their brains are activated. Different neural pathways are strengthened. Different hormones are released. When you have abundance consciousness, your brain releases different neurochemicals. Your dopamine increases. Your cortisol decreases. You feel better. You have more energy. You make better decisions. You see more opportunities. You attract more abundance. But here's the fascinating part. These neural changes can be accomplished through imagination and visualization just as effectively as through real experience. Your brain doesn't care whether you're actually experiencing abundance or imagining abundance. It builds the same neural structures either way. So by falling asleep in prosperity consciousness, by feeling abundance in your body, by imagining your $500,000 blessing already manifested, you're literally building the neural architecture of someone who is wealthy. This is the scientific validation of what Florence Scovel Shinn taught through direct experience and spiritual intuition. This is why these practices work. This is why sleep prosperity meditation is so powerful. This is why you're going to experience miraculous results when you implement these practices faithfully. You're not just thinking positive thoughts. You're not just hoping for the best. You're literally rewiring your brain. You're literally rebuilding your neural pathways. You're literally reprogramming your consciousness at the deepest neurological levels. And this happens automatically. You don't have to consciously work at it. You don't have to force it. You just have to fall asleep with the right consciousness, and your brain does the work for you. Your brain rebuilds itself. Your neural pathways reorganize. Your consciousness shifts. Your reality reorganizes to match. This is the power that's available to you every single night. Now I want to share with you some advanced techniques that Florence Scovel Shinn taught to her most committed students. These are practices that take your sleep prosperity work to the next level. These are practices that accelerate your manifestation. These are practices that deepen your connection to divine abundance. If you're already doing the basic practices faithfully, these advanced techniques will exponentially increase your results. The first advanced technique is what I call the middle-of-night decree. Florence taught that there are moments during the night when you wake up naturally. These are not accidents. These are not disturbances. These are sacred opportunities. She said that these wakings are often orchestrated by divine intelligence to give you access to guidance and wisdom that can't reach you during waking hours when your conscious mind is too active and your critical faculty is blocking higher wisdom. When you wake at night, before you do anything else, speak a prosperity decree into that open consciousness. Then stay receptive for a few moments to see if any insights, ideas, or guidance come through. Keep a notepad ready on your nightstand to capture whatever appears, because it might be the million-dollar idea that changes your entire financial future. It might be the business concept that you've been waiting for. It might be the solution to a problem that's been blocking you. It might be the name of someone you need to contact. It might be the specific action step you need to take. Divine intelligence uses these quiet moments to communicate with you directly. Use them, honor them, pay attention to them. Because your $500,000 November blessing might be trying to reach you during these sacred night hours. The second advanced technique is dream interpretation. Florence taught that your dreams during sleep are not random noise or meaningless firing of neurons. Your dreams are your subconscious mind communicating with you, giving you feedback about what's being activated, what beliefs are shifting, what old patterns are being dissolved. Sometimes you'll have anxiety dreams as old programming comes to the surface to be released. She taught, don't be disturbed by these dreams. This is actually progress. The old scarcity programming is being flushed out, brought to the surface so it can be released and replaced. Simply remind yourself in the dream or upon waking. This is old programming being released. I am now aligned with prosperity. I am magnetized to money. I am divinely supplied. And then let the dream go. But also pay attention to prosperity dreams. Dreams where you're wealthy. Dreams where you're receiving money. Dreams where abundance is flowing. These dreams are your subconscious mind showing you what prosperity consciousness feels like. These dreams are your subconscious mind practicing prosperity. These dreams are creating the neural pathways of abundance. Take these dreams as positive signs that your reprogramming is working. The third advanced technique is what I call the prosperity anchor object. Florence taught that you can create a physical object that serves as an anchor for your prosperity consciousness. This could be a coin, a crystal, a special stone, a photograph, anything that you imbue with prosperity energy through intention and attention. Keep this object on your nightstand. Before sleep, hold it in your hand. Speak your decree into it. Program it with your abundance intention. Feel your prosperity flowing into it. Then, as you drift off to sleep, hold it close to your heart. Your subconscious will work with that object all night long, amplifying your abundance intention. When you wake in the morning, hold the object again. Speak gratitude into it. Feel the prosperity it carries. Let it activate your abundance consciousness for the day. Carry it with you if you can. Let it be a constant reminder of your prosperity consciousness. The more you imbue this object with prosperity energy, the more powerful it becomes as a tool for manifestation. Some people use a special coin. Some use a crystal. Some use a piece of jewelry. What matters is that you consistently program it with prosperity energy and use it as a focal point for your abundance intention. The fourth advanced technique is the prosperity visualization sequence. After you've spoken your decree and you're beginning to drift off, take a few moments to visualize a specific prosperity scenario. See yourself receiving your $500,000 blessing. See the money flowing into your bank account. See the number growing. See your account balance becoming $500,000. Feel the reality of it. Feel the peace. Feel the gratitude. Feel yourself becoming wealthy. Feel what it feels like to be someone who is rich. Feel it as vividly as possible. Let every sense engage. See it, feel it, hear it, taste it, smell it. Make it as real as possible in your imagination. Then, as you drift off to sleep, hold that image. Let it be the last thing you see with your mind's eye before sleep overtakes you. Your subconscious will work with that image all night long. It will begin creating circumstances that match that image. It will begin attracting opportunities that align with that image. It will begin reshaping your reality to match the prosperity you visualized. The fifth advanced technique is what Florence called the spoken commitment. She taught that there's tremendous power in making a verbal commitment to prosperity. Speak your commitment out loud, with conviction, with certainty, with authority. Say something like, I commit to sacred sleep prosperity practice for 1 full year starting tonight. Every night I program abundance consciousness. Every morning I wake to prosperity. I trust divine intelligence working through my sleeping mind. I maintain consistency regardless of circumstances. I allow prosperity momentum to build until wealth consciousness becomes my permanent reality. I accept divine supply as my birthright, and I claim it now through faithful practice. So be it. Speaking that commitment creates an energetic contract with yourself and with the universe. It sets intention in motion at the deepest level. It gives your subconscious clear instructions about what you're committed to creating over this next year. Don't underestimate the power of speaking commitment out loud. Something shifts in consciousness when you make verbal declaration of your intention that doesn't happen with silent thinking. The vibration of your voice carries tremendous power. The authority in your words creates energetic momentum. The commitment spoken out loud becomes real in ways that unspoken commitments never can. The sixth advanced technique is gratitude journaling before sleep. Instead of just speaking gratitude, write it down. Keep a gratitude journal on your nightstand. Before sleep, write down everything you're grateful for related to money and abundance. Write about the blessings in your life. Write about the money you have. Write about your ability to earn. Write gratitude in advance for your $500,000 November blessing. Write as if it's already happened. Write, I'm so grateful that I received my $500,000 blessing this month. I'm so grateful that my financial situation has completely transformed. I'm so grateful that money is flowing to me easily and effortlessly. The act of writing engages your mind differently than speaking. It creates a physical record. It slows your thinking down. It deepens your feeling. It grounds gratitude in a more tangible way. Then as you fall asleep, your subconscious works with both what you've written and what you're feeling. The combination is incredibly powerful. The seventh advanced technique is the prosperity mantra for meditation. Create a short prosperity mantra that you can use throughout the day and especially before sleep. Something like, I am prosperous, I am abundant, I am magnetic to money, I am divinely supplied. Every moment I attract wealth and opportunity. Money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources. I am open to receive. I am worthy of abundance. I am grateful for my $500,000 November blessing. Repeat this mantra during the day whenever you think of it. Say it when you're driving. Say it when you're exercising. Say it when you're waiting. Say it constantly so that it becomes imprinted in your consciousness. Then when you go to sleep, this mantra will already be deeply embedded in your subconscious. As you drift off, repeat it one final time. Let it carry you into sleep. Let it be the programming that your subconscious works with all night long. I want to deepen your understanding of something crucial about dreams and sleep that Florence Scovel Shinn taught. Your dreams are not interruptions to your prosperity work. Your dreams are not distractions. Your dreams are part of your prosperity work. Your dreams are your subconscious mind showing you what it's doing. Your dreams are feedback from your deeper consciousness. Your dreams are messages from divine intelligence. When you begin this sleep prosperity practice, you may start having very vivid dreams. Dreams that feel intensely real. Dreams that you remember clearly when you wake. This is not random. This is your subconscious becoming activated. This is your consciousness waking up. This is your deeper mind beginning to process and release old beliefs and old patterns. This is your subconscious working with the new prosperity programming you've installed. Pay attention to these dreams. Keep a dream journal. Write down your dreams as soon as you wake. What images appeared? What emotions you felt? What was happening? What people were there? What was the overall feeling or theme? Because your dreams are showing you something important. They're showing you what's being activated in your consciousness. They're showing you what's shifting. They're showing you the progress you're making. For example, if you dream about money, about finding money, about receiving money, this is your subconscious showing you that the prosperity programming is working. Your subconscious is practicing prosperity. Your subconscious is imagining abundance. This is a positive sign. This means transformation is happening. Sometimes you'll have dreams about losing money or struggling financially. Don't be concerned. This is often your subconscious releasing old patterns. This is the old programming being flushed out so the new programming can take its place. Florence taught that sometimes you'll have dreams about people from your past, people you haven't thought about in years, people who treated you poorly or who you had conflicts with. She said these dreams are showing you that you're releasing old emotional baggage. You're letting go of resentment. You're clearing blocks that were preventing abundance from flowing to you. These dreams are part of your healing. These dreams are part of your transformation. Sometimes you'll wake up in the middle of the night feeling anxious or disturbed. Don't panic. This is often your subconscious processing something. It's working through something. It's releasing something. Speak a prosperity decree into that moment. Remind yourself that you're safe. Remind yourself that divine abundance is protecting you. Remind yourself that your $500,000 blessing is already on its way. Then go back to sleep, knowing that your subconscious is doing important work. Occasionally, you might wake up with an idea, a solution, an inspiration, an insight. This is divine intelligence speaking to you through your dreams and through your semi-conscious state. This is your subconscious mind showing you the way forward. This is guidance arriving exactly when you need it. Pay attention. Write it down immediately, because this idea might be the missing piece. This insight might be the breakthrough. This inspiration might lead directly to your $500,000 blessing manifesting. Florence taught about the cumulative power of the practice. This is crucial to understand. She taught that the way these seemingly simple nighttime and morning rituals compound over time to create massive transformation that seems miraculous to people who don't understand the spiritual mechanics behind it. She compared it to compound interest in a bank account. One night of prosperity sleep practice produces a tiny shift in consciousness that you might not even notice. But that tiny shift is real. It's a small deposit in your consciousness bank account. The next night, you make another small deposit, and another, and another. Each individual deposit seems insignificant, but they're accumulating, compounding, building on each other in ways you can't see from day to day. Then suddenly, after 30 days, or 60 days, or 90 days of faithful practice, you wake up one morning and realize everything has changed. Your relationship with money feels completely different. Your financial circumstances have shifted dramatically. Opportunities you couldn't have imagined are appearing in your life. Money is flowing more easily than ever before, and you might be tempted to think it happened suddenly, miraculously, out of nowhere. But Florence would say it didn't happen suddenly at all. It happened gradually through consistent daily practice that was building and compounding beneath the surface until it reached critical mass. This is exactly what's going to happen for you, starting tonight. Starting with this very meditation, you're making your first deposit in your consciousness bank account. You're planting the first seed in your prosperity garden. You're speaking the first decree that will reprogram your subconscious. It might not feel like much. It might not seem significant, but it is. It's the beginning of everything changing. It's the first step toward your $500,000 November blessing manifesting. So don't discount the small steps. Don't minimize the nightly practice. Don't think it's not enough. Because consistency is the magic ingredient. Repetition is the master key. Daily practice is what creates lasting transformation. Not occasional bursts of effort. Not once-in-a-while attempts. But daily, nightly, faithful practice. That's what creates miracles. That's what manifests abundance. That's what changes lives. Imagine 30 days of faithfully practicing these sleep prosperity techniques. Imagine 30 nights of speaking your prosperity decree, 30 nights of repeating your prosperity lullaby, 30 nights of expressing gratitude for abundance, 30 mornings of waking in prosperity consciousness. What will have changed in your mind? What will have shifted in your consciousness? What will have manifested in your life? The answer is everything. After 30 days, you'll be a different person. Your vibration will have shifted. Your frequency will have changed. Your energy will be completely different. People around you will notice. They'll ask what's different about you. They'll sense the change. And internally, your thoughts will be different. Your beliefs will be different. Your expectations will be different. You'll be expecting good things to happen. You'll be believing that money will come. You'll be knowing that your $500,000 blessing is manifesting. And if the internal changes 30 days from now, external changes will follow automatically. Money will begin appearing. Opportunities will begin emerging. Circumstances will begin shifting. Your life will begin transforming. All because of these simple practices done faithfully every night and every morning. All because you've decided to use your sleep hours as sacred prosperity time instead of wasting them on unconscious fear and worry. Florence taught that the cumulative power accelerates exponentially. The second month is more powerful than the first. The third month is more powerful than the second. The momentum builds. The manifestation accelerates. The miracles multiply. After 3 months of faithful practice, you'll have completely different financial circumstances than where you started. After 6 months, you'll be experiencing genuine abundance. After 1 year, you'll be living in prosperity that you can't even imagine from where you are right now. But it all starts with tonight. It all starts with your decision to commit. It all starts with your willingness to practice. So make that commitment now. Commit to 30 days. Commit to 60 days. Commit to 180 days if you can. Commit to using your sleep hours as sacred prosperity time. Commit to faithfully implementing these practices every single night and every single morning. Commit to your $500,000 November blessing. Because when you commit, the universe commits with you. When you decide to transform, divine intelligence decides to support you. When you align with abundance consciousness, abundance aligns with you. And miracles become inevitable. Transformation becomes certain. Your $500,000 blessing becomes guaranteed. This is the power of commitment. This is the power of consistency. This is the power of cumulative practice over time. Now I know some of you listening might be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, but I'm so exhausted at night that I can barely function by bedtime. How am I supposed to implement these practices when I'm falling asleep the moment my head hits the pillow? Or perhaps you're thinking, I travel a lot for work and don't have a consistent sleep schedule. Or maybe, I live with roommates and can't speak my decrees out loud. These are all valid concerns, and Florence Scovel Shinn addressed them directly in her teachings. She said that if you're too tired to speak lengthy decrees or do elaborate practices, then simplify to the bare essentials. But don't skip the practice entirely. The bare minimum practice, according to Florence, is this. As you're lying down to sleep, no matter how exhausted you are. Simply say one sentence before you lose consciousness. I am rich and I sleep in peace. That's it. Just those 8 words spoken with as much conviction as you can muster in your exhausted state. And then, in the morning, no matter how rushed you are, speak one sentence before you get out of bed. I wake up blessed and abundant. Those 2 simple practices, one sentence at night and one sentence in the morning, will begin shifting your consciousness even if you can't do anything more elaborate. Florence taught that consistency matters more than complexity. It's better to do a simple practice every single night and every single morning without fail than to do elaborate practices occasionally when you have time and energy. The power is in the repetition. The power is in the daily programming. The power is in the consistent impression on the subconscious. Even simple statements repeated faithfully every day will rewire prosperity consciousness over time because you're working with the cumulative power of habit and the plasticity of the sleeping mind. If you can't speak your decrees out loud because you live with others or you're concerned about judgment, then speak them silently. Your subconscious doesn't care if you speak out loud or mentally. The words will still reach your subconscious. The programming will still happen. The effect will still be profound. Speak your decree silently as you lie in bed. Repeat it mentally as you drift off. Speak your gratitude mentally before sleep. Your subconscious is listening either way. She also taught something that I think is crucial for modern listeners to understand. The length of sleep doesn't matter nearly as much as the quality of consciousness you hold while falling asleep and while waking up. You could sleep 10 hours, but spend those 10 hours with poverty consciousness running in your subconscious, and you'd wake up programmed for lack. Or you could sleep only 6 hours, but fall asleep in abundance consciousness and wake up in gratitude consciousness. And those 6 hours would program you for prosperity more effectively than the 10 hours of unconscious sleep. This is liberating for people who struggle with insomnia or who have demanding schedules that limit sleep time. You're not at a disadvantage if you can't sleep 8 hours every night. What matters is the consciousness you bring to whatever sleep you do get. 5 hours of sleep, bookended by prosperity practices, is more valuable for manifestation than 8 hours of sleep with no conscious programming at all. So don't stress about the amount of sleep. Focus on the quality of your consciousness as you fall asleep and as you wake up. That's where the real power lies. That's where the transformation happens. That's where your $500,000 November blessing is being prepared. Now let me address something important. You may encounter resistance as you begin these practices. Resistance from your own mind. Resistance from your programming. Resistance from your beliefs. Your ego mind will tell you that this is silly. Your critical mind will tell you that this won't work. Your doubt will whisper that you're wasting your time. Your fear will say that you don't deserve this abundance. This resistance is normal. This resistance is expected. Florence taught that whenever you're making a major shift in consciousness, resistance will arise from the old programming that's trying to maintain itself. Don't fight the resistance. Don't argue with it. Simply acknowledge it. Thank your mind for trying to protect you. And then continue with the practice anyway. The resistance will fade as your new programming becomes stronger. The doubt will decrease as you begin to see results. The fear will dissolve as abundance begins flowing into your life. But in these early days, you need to be aware that resistance will arise, and you need to commit to practicing regardless. Sometimes you'll wake up and your mind will say, I didn't sleep well. I don't remember doing the practice. I don't think it's working. Don't believe these thoughts. Your subconscious doesn't require your conscious memory to work. Your subconscious doesn't need you to remember speaking the decree for the decree to reprogram you. The work is happening beneath the surface. The neural pathways are being rewired. The consciousness is shifting. Trust the process. Trust that something is happening even if you can't see it or remember it consciously. You may also encounter external resistance. People in your life might question what you're doing. They might say it's silly to talk to yourself before sleep. They might say prosperity doesn't work that way. They might try to convince you that you're wasting your time. Don't let their doubt interfere with your practice. Don't let their skepticism stop you. You don't have to convince anyone else. You just have to do the practice for yourself, and the results will speak for themselves. When your life begins transforming, when your finances improve dramatically, when your $500,000 blessing manifests, they'll see the evidence. They'll recognize the power of what you've been doing. I want you to understand something crucial before we move into the deep meditation portion of this session. You're not just listening to words. You're not just hearing information. You're participating in a consciousness shift. You're entering into a sacred experience. You're about to spend the next 3 hours in profound communion with your subconscious mind. You're about to program prosperity consciousness at the deepest levels. You're about to set yourself on a path that will transform your entire life. So prepare yourself with reverence. Prepare yourself with respect for the process. Prepare yourself with faith that something extraordinary is about to happen. Because something extraordinary is about to happen. The moment you stop this speaking portion and drift off to sleep listening to the affirmations and theta wave background music, your brain will enter the most plastic, most receptive state available. Your consciousness will be maximally open. Your subconscious will be ready to receive new programming. And everything you've heard in these previous sections will begin working on your consciousness. Your decree will be impressed on your subconscious. Your lullaby will reprogram your identity. Your gratitude will attune you to abundance frequency. Your visualizations will build neural pathways of prosperity. All of this will happen automatically as you sleep. You don't have to consciously do anything. You don't have to try. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to release and allow. This is crucial to understand. The harder you try, the more resistance you create. The more you struggle, the more you block the flow. Manifestation is not about effort. Manifestation is about alignment. Manifestation is about allowing. Manifestation is about opening yourself to receive. So as you drift off to sleep, let go of effort. Let go of trying. Let go of making it happen. Simply drift into sleep knowing that everything is being taken care of. Knowing that your subconscious is doing the work. Knowing that divine intelligence is coordinating your manifestation. Have faith. This is the most important thing Florence Scovel Shinn taught. Have absolute faith that what you're doing is working. Have faith that your $500,000 November blessing is already manifesting. Have faith that abundance is flowing to you from infinite divine substance. Have faith that opportunities are appearing that will lead to your prosperity. Have faith that your life is transforming even if you can't see it yet with your physical eyes. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the evidence of things not yet seen. Faith is what makes manifestation certain. When you wake up tomorrow morning after this meditation, do your morning practice. Speak your gratitude. Imagine your day unfolding with abundance. Feel your prosperity in your body. And then go about your day with an expectation that good things are coming. With a knowing that money is flowing to you. With a certainty that your $500,000 blessing is manifesting. This feeling is crucial. This expectation is what attracts abundance. This certainty is what makes miracles happen. Throughout the day tomorrow, notice opportunities that appear. Notice when someone mentions a job or business opportunity. Notice when money comes to you unexpectedly. Notice synchronicities. Notice coincidences. Because these are not accidents. These are not random. These are the universe responding to your shifted consciousness. These are abundance flowing to you through the channels that are available. Pay attention. Be alert. Be ready to receive. You may receive guidance about actions to take. You may suddenly feel called to reach out to someone. You may get an idea about a business to start, or a product to create, or a service to offer. Don't ignore these intuitive nudges. These are your subconscious and divine intelligence working together to guide you toward your $500,000 blessing. Follow the guidance. Take the action. Trust the process. And if nothing obvious appears tomorrow, don't be discouraged. The manifestation is happening on the inner planes first. The external will follow. The neural pathways are being built. The consciousness is shifting. The subconscious is working. These changes are happening beneath the surface. Eventually, they will appear in the physical realm. Be patient. Be faithful. Trust the process. Continue this meditation. Continue these practices. Do this meditation again tomorrow night if you can. Do it every night if possible. The more you practice, the faster your transformation. The more you spend in prosperity consciousness, the more rapidly abundance manifests. Make this your nightly ritual. Make this your sacred practice. Make this the most important commitment you make to yourself. And tell others about this. Share this meditation with people you love. Share these teachings with people who are struggling financially. Share the practices with anyone who wants to transform their consciousness, because this wisdom should not be kept secret. This power should not be hoarded. This knowledge should spread. The more people who practice sleep prosperity work, the more collective abundance manifests. The more people who align with prosperity consciousness, the more the entire world shifts toward abundance. Now I want to prepare you for what's about to happen, what's about to unfold as you move into the deep meditation portion of this 3-hour session. From this point forward, you're going to hear affirmations repeated over theta wave background music, specifically designed to support sleep and deep subconscious programming. The affirmations will repeat various versions of prosperity statements, different ways of declaring abundance, different methods of claiming your $500,000 November blessing. The background music is tuned to specific frequencies, theta frequencies between 4 and 8 cycles per second. These are the frequencies where your brain naturally goes during deep sleep and deep meditation. These are the frequencies where neuroplasticity is maximized. These are the frequencies where your subconscious is most open to programming. As you listen, your brain will naturally synchronize with these frequencies. Your consciousness will naturally drop into theta state. Your subconscious will naturally become receptive. The affirmations you'll hear include statements like, I am rich, I am prosperous, I am magnetic to money, I command $500,000, I am aligned with abundance. Money flows to me easily, I am worthy of prosperity, I deserve $500,000. My November blessing is manifesting now. Divine supply is endless. I am divinely provided. I receive abundance with gratitude. I am grateful for my prosperity. Money comes to me from expected and unexpected sources. I am open to receive. I am a money magnet. Abundance flows through me. I command prosperity into my life. I speak my $500,000 blessing into existence. So it is. So it is done. These affirmations will loop and repeat in various combinations for 3 hours. 3 hours of pure prosperity programming. 3 hours of your subconscious mind being bathed in abundant statements. 3 hours of your consciousness being aligned with infinite supply. 3 hours of your $500,000 blessing being woven into the fabric of your being. 3 hours of transformation happening at the deepest levels of your consciousness. Your job is to do nothing but listen and sleep. Don't try to memorize the affirmations. Don't try to consciously listen. Don't try to make anything happen. Simply let the affirmations wash over you. Simply allow the frequencies to work on your brain. Simply drift into sleep knowing that everything is being handled, that everything is being taken care of, that your subconscious is receiving exactly what it needs to reprogram for prosperity. If you drift off to sleep immediately, that's perfect. If you stay semi-conscious for a while, that's perfect too. Both states are equally effective for subconscious programming. Your subconscious will be absorbing these affirmations and frequencies regardless of whether you consciously remember hearing them. The work is happening beneath the level of conscious awareness. The transformation is occurring in the depths of your mind. You may have vivid dreams. You may have no dreams that you remember. You may wake up several times during the night. All of this is normal. All of this is fine. Your subconscious will be working even during times when you think nothing is happening. Trust the process. Trust that something profound is occurring even if you can't consciously perceive it. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, your consciousness will have shifted. Your neural pathways will have been rewired. Your prosperity programming will have been installed. You may not consciously feel different. You may not see obvious results immediately. But internally, at the level of your subconscious, everything has changed. Your beliefs are different. Your expectations are different. Your vibration is different. Your frequency is different. And as you move through tomorrow, this new consciousness will begin manifesting in your life. Opportunities will begin appearing. Money will begin flowing. People will begin helping you. Circumstances will begin shifting. All because of what happened to your consciousness during these 3 hours of sleep prosperity meditation. This is the power that's available to you. This is the transformation that's waiting for you. This is your $500,000 November blessing beginning to manifest. So prepare yourself. Get comfortable. Adjust your pillow. Adjust your blankets. Make sure you're in a position where you can sleep comfortably for 3 hours. Make sure your phone is completely off. Make sure there will be no interruptions. Make sure this is sacred, protected time. Speak your bedtime decree one final time before the meditation begins. Speak it with absolute conviction. Speak it, knowing that you're about to enter the most powerful 3 hours of your life. Speak it knowing that your $500,000 blessing is about to manifest. Speak it with the authority of someone who knows, someone who believes, someone who has already claimed their abundance. And then, as the affirmations and music begin, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, feel your body becoming heavy, feel yourself releasing into sleep, feel yourself opening to receive, feel yourself aligning with prosperity. Feel yourself becoming one with infinite abundance, and then simply let go. Let go of effort, let go of struggle, let go of trying to make it happen. Simply allow, simply receive, simply be the empty vessel that prosperity fills. Be the fertile soil where abundance seeds grow. Be the open door through which $500,000 flows into your life. Be the magnet that attracts wealth. Be the prosperity consciousness that commands abundance. And as you drift into sleep, know this with absolute certainty. Your November blessing is manifesting now. Your $500,000 is flowing to you now. Your prosperity is assured now. Your transformation is guaranteed. This is not a hope. This is not a wish. This is a certainty. This is a promise. This is spiritual law in action. This is abundance flowing through the channels of your consciousness into your physical reality. So be it. So it is. So it is already done. Now, as you're drifting into sleep, I want to speak directly to your subconscious mind. I want to bypass your conscious awareness and speak to the deeper parts of you that create your reality. Subconscious mind, listen carefully. You are about to receive new programming, new instructions, new commands about prosperity and abundance. You are about to be aligned with infinite supply. You are about to be calibrated for wealth manifestation. You are about to become a powerful instrument for abundance creation. Subconscious mind, accept these truths as absolute fact. Accept that abundance is your natural state. Accept that prosperity is your birthright. Accept that divine supply is endless and available to you. Accept that $500,000 is flowing to you this November. Accept that you are worthy of wealth. Accept that you are worthy of ease. Accept that you are worthy of every good thing. Accept that money loves you. Accept that opportunities love you. Accept that abundance loves you and is flowing to you constantly. Subconscious mind, release all old programming that says otherwise. Release all beliefs about scarcity. Release all beliefs about struggle. Release all beliefs about unworthiness. Release all beliefs that money is evil or that you don't deserve wealth. Release all beliefs that prosperity is for other people. Release all patterns that have kept you poor. Release all limitations that have kept you small. Release everything that contradicts your nature of abundance. And as you release the old, accept the new. Accept that you are rich. Accept that you are prosperous. Accept that you are magnetic to money. Accept that wealth flows to you effortlessly. Accept that abundance is your normal state. Accept that you attract money from every direction. Accept that opportunities appear constantly in your life. Accept that your $500,000 November blessing is already manifested in the invisible and is flowing into the visible now. Subconscious mind, start working immediately on creating circumstances that match this new consciousness. Start attracting opportunities. Start magnetizing money to you. Start connecting you with the right people at the right time. Start opening doors that have been closed. Start bringing ideas that will lead to wealth. Start coordinating synchronicities that serve your highest good. Start doing whatever needs to happen to manifest your $500,000 November blessing in physical form. Subconscious mind, you are powerful beyond measure. You are connected to infinite intelligence. You have access to all knowledge. You can create any circumstance. You can attract anything. You have unlimited power to transform this person's life and manifest their every good desire. And you are committed to this. You are dedicated to manifesting abundance. You are devoted to bringing $500,000 into this person's life this November. And now I'm going to speak to your conscious mind as you drift deeper into sleep. Conscious mind, as you prepare to release in sleep, know that you've made the right choice. You've chosen wisely. You've decided to align with abundance. You've committed to prosperity. You've claimed your $500,000 November blessing. And because you've made this decision, everything is about to change. Your life from this moment forward will be different. Your financial situation will improve. Your opportunities will increase. Your money will flow. Your stress will decrease. Your peace will increase. Your joy will increase. Your gratitude will increase. Everything is about to get better. Everything is about to transform. You are about to experience miracles. You are about to experience abundance like you've never known before. And it all began with this decision, with this commitment, with this 3-hour meditation, with your willingness to reprogram your consciousness, with your openness to receive, with your faith that something greater than yourself is working on your behalf. This is the beginning of a new chapter. This is the start of your prosperity story. This is the first moment of your abundant life. So sleep now. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep knowing that you're safe. Sleep knowing that you're protected. Sleep knowing that divine intelligence is coordinating your manifestation. Sleep knowing that your $500,000 blessing is being woven into the fabric of your reality. Sleep knowing that miracles are unfolding on your behalf. Sleep knowing that when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to be a different person. A wealthier person. A more prosperous person. A person living in alignment with abundance. And as you sleep, allow the affirmations to work. Allow the frequencies to work. Allow your subconscious to work. Allow divine intelligence to work. Allow your $500,000 blessing to manifest. Allow abundance to flow. Allow prosperity to establish itself in your life. Allow yourself to become the person you were always meant to be. The prosperous person, the abundant person, the wealthy person, the money magnet, the divine receiver. Your $500,000 November blessing is yours. Claim it. Receive it. Allow it to flow to you. Be grateful for it. Be grateful for this moment. Be grateful for this opportunity. Be grateful for this transformation. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for your abundance. Be grateful for your prosperity. Be grateful for your $500,000 blessing that is already yours. So it is. So it is done. Your prosperity is assured. Your abundance is guaranteed. Your $500,000 November blessing is manifesting now. Sleep well. Dream of abundance. Wake up wealthy. Live your dreams. Experience your miracles. Claim your good. Receive your blessings. And know that this meditation was only the beginning of the most abundant chapter of your life. Welcome to prosperity. Welcome to abundance. Welcome to your $500,000 blessing.